All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about the 5 cloud skills that are absolutely going to define careers by 2026. Because let's be honest, the skills you're learning today, they might just be the bare minimum tomorrow. We need to look at where the industry is actually going. And yeah, let's not pull any punches here. This quote really says it all. Knowing basic cloud stuff, using Docker, setting up a standard CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration and continuous deployment, in just a couple of years, that's not even going to get your resume looked at. It's a bit of a wake-up call, but it's the reality we gotta get ready for. So that leads us to the million-dollar question, right? If the stuff we know is becoming basic, what's the new stuff? What are the skills that won't just get you hired, but will make you the person they cannot afford to lose? Well, that's exactly what we're gonna break down right now. The reason for all this is actually pretty simple. The cloud industry has grown up, it's mature now. Companies aren't just trying to move to the cloud anymore. They're building these incredibly complex, intelligent systems that can basically run themselves. And for that, they need engineers who think about automation, intelligence, and massive scale from the get-go. Just look at the difference on this slide. It's night and day. On the left, you've got what was cutting edge a few years back. Now, that's just the price of admission. The stuff on the right, that's the future. We're talking about building systems that can fix themselves, scale themselves, and tell you what's wrong before you even know there's a problem. That's the new goal. All right, skill number 1, Git-centered systems. This isn't just a new tool, it's a completely different way of thinking. It's about moving away from all the manual one-off setups and into a world driven by something called platform engineering, where everything is automated and flows through Git. And the big idea behind this is called GitOps. Here's the magic. Git becomes the one and only source of truth for everything. Your application code, your infrastructure, all your configs, it all lives in Git. You make a change, you push it, and poof, the system updates itself. No more, I'll just log in and tweak this one thing. So why is this such a big deal? Well, think about the old way. Every single team for every single project is building their own pipelines from scratch. It's a total mess, it's slow, and nothing is consistent. The new way with platform engineering is about building one solid self-service platform. You give developers the tools, and they can deploy their own stuff safely and super fast. And what makes this all work? Tools like these two, Argo CD and Flux CD, are basically the engines of GitOps. They act like little robots that are constantly watching your Git repo. The second they see a change, they spring into action and make sure your live environment, which is probably Kubernetes, looks exactly like what you defined in your code. They are the essential bridge from your commit to production. So how do you get started? It's actually a pretty clear path. First things first, your Git skills need to be absolutely rock solid. No shortcuts there. Then you really need to get comfortable with Kubernetes, because that's where all this action happens. And finally, you just got to do it. Set up a tiny project, use Argo CD or Flux, and watch your Git push actually change a live system. That moment, it's a game changer. Okay, moving on to our second skill, which really builds on that idea of automation. We're talking about infrastructure as APIs. This is kind of the next evolution of infrastructure as code. We're going from static configuration files to truly dynamic, programmable systems. So what on earth does that mean? Well, instead of writing a huge configuration file every time you need a database, you define that database once as a reusable component. Then you just expose it as a simple API. Now, developers who need a database can just call your API and get one on demand. Your infrastructure becomes modular, reusable, and versioned, just like regular code. It's incredibly powerful. The two big tools making waves here are Crossplane and Pulumi. Crossplane is wild because it basically teaches Kubernetes how to speak cloud. You can use the standard Kubernetes tools, like kubectl, to create an AWS database or a Google Cloud Storage bucket. It's wild. Pulumi takes a different route. It lets you use programming languages you probably already know, like Python or TypeScript, to define all your infrastructure. Now, to get into this, you can't really skip the fundamentals. You need to have a solid handle on a tool like Terraform first to really get infrastructure as code. Then, make sure you understand the principles of how APIs work. Once you've got that, it's time to get your hands dirty. Seriously, spin up a Kubernetes cluster and just try to build something with Crossplane. Okay, skill number 3. So your systems are automated, they're running, but you actually know what's going on inside them? Simply checking if a server is up or down just doesn't cut it anymore. Not with today's complex applications. We need something smarter. Intelligent observability. And this slide just nails the difference. Monitoring the old way tells you that something broke.
Your server is down. Okay, cool, thanks. Observability, the new way, connects all the clues, the metrics, the logs, the application traces, to help you figure out why it broke. It lets you ask questions about your system you didn't even know you had.
And then you add a layer of artificial intelligence on top of all that data, and that's AI ops. The goal here is to stop reacting to problems and start predicting them. The AI can sift through mountains of data to spot weird patterns, detect tiny anomalies, and basically raise a flag saying, hey, this thing is probably going to fail in the next hour. It can even fix the problem on its own sometimes. The path to learning this is kind of layered. You've got to start with the fundamentals, really truly understand what logs, metrics, and traces are. Then, get hands-on with the tools of the trade, like Prometheus and Grafana. From there, you can dig into standards like OpenTelemetry to see how all this data gets collected. And only then can you really start to explore the AIOps layer on top.
Now for a skill that is just exploding: AI-ready infrastructure. Everyone's talking about AI, but getting these models to run reliably and at scale in a production environment, that's a completely different challenge than deploying a simple website. And companies are desperate for people who can bridge that gap between cloud engineering and AI.
And we're not just talking about firing up a big server here. This is a specialized field. How do you manage and schedule those super expensive GPUs efficiently? How do you serve a model so that it responds in milliseconds? What are these new vector databases everyone's talking about? How do you even know if a model is performing well over time? These are the tough questions that AI infrastructure engineers live and breathe. So how do you even start to break into this? Well, assuming you've got your Docker and Kubernetes basics down, a great first step is to just take a simple AI model and containerize it. Then start learning about how GPUs work in the cloud. After that, dig into what model inference really means. And finally, put it all together. Deploy that simple model and figure out how to track its performance. And that brings us to our fifth and final skill. This one's about a huge shift in how we design our applications. For years, everything was request-response. You ask a server for something, and you wait for it to answer. Modern systems are moving to a new model: asynchronous, event-driven systems that are way more flexible and resilient. This is just the perfect analogy. The old way is like making a phone call and being stuck on hold, waiting for an answer. You can't do anything else. The new event-driven way is like sending an email. You fire it off, and you're free to go do other things. The other person will get to it when they can. Your systems stop waiting on each other. And the tools that make this possible are things like Kafka or RabbitMQ. They are those central inboxes, the message queues. Then you have serverless functions, like AWS Lambda or Google Cloud Functions. They are perfect for this because they just pop into existence, react to one of those messages, do their one little job, and then disappear. It makes the whole system unbelievably efficient and scalable. Okay, so that was a lot. We've gone through 5 pretty advanced skills, and it might feel like, whoa, how am I supposed to learn all of this? But here's the most important takeaway. The goal is absolutely not to become an expert in all 5 of these things at once. Please don't even try. Here's the real secret. The way you get ahead is by focusing. Pick 2 of these skills, maybe 3 if you're ambitious, and go deep. Become a true expert in just a couple of these areas. If you can do that, I promise you, you will be so far ahead of 90% of the people in this industry who are just sticking to the basics. So, as we wrap this up, the question I want to leave you with is a simple one. Not if you should learn these skills, but which one are you going to start with? Which one gets you excited? Which one do you see the biggest opportunity in for your career? Pick one, make a plan, and just start, because the future is already here and you've got the map.